The big question is why Riccardo Calafiori chose Arsenal over all the teams that we are really interested in signing him. And welcome to the Rokani Media Football. This video is powered by Mono Gadgets 256, dealers in phones, Android, Apple, can call it iPhones, gadgets, laptops, and so on and so forth. If at all you feel like you want a phone, you want a laptop, anything concerning phones, call +256 709988 665. I repeat the name 0709988 665. Mono Gadgets is the place to be. So we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. We're here to bring you a story of Riccardo Calafiori on why he snubbed Chelsea and went ahead to obviously join Arsenal, with Fabrizio Romano coming through with a very huge update concerning this story. There is another guy, or another story, there is another story concerning the guy called Emerson Royal speaking out on why he feels like he chose to really get out of the side of Tottenham Hotspur, obviously try to push a move to AC Milan. And Keane has come out and really given a side known as what's the name? A side known as England as the underdogs and Spain the favorites. So let's see close to 200 likes much of this video, and let's obviously get up and running into the mix. Now, yesterday Fabrizio Romano had a very huge update about Riccardo Calafiori, and he told us that talks between Arsenal and Bologna for Riccardo Calafiori are still ongoing. Bologna insists on €50 million fee, no plans to reduce the price tag as they owe 50% to FC Basel. Arsenal want to include add-ons as key part of the deal. Calafiori wants Arsenal waiting for them. So Arsenal, talks between Arsenal and Bologna as far as Calafiori are really concerned. There are no plans to reduce the price tag as they owe 50% to FC Basel. Arsenal want to include add-ons as key part of the deal, so that is really what is really delaying this deal, that they need to negotiate on the structure of the deal, and the side of Bologna is like, you need to obviously get us that amount of money. You get Arsenal are like, we want to give you this as upfront and then the other to come in through as add-ons. And it looks like the side of Bologna is really making it hard, and Arsenal are really trying to find a breakthrough because the player has gone ahead to give them priority, and you cannot disappoint a player like that who really went ahead to give you green light and you are like not really doing anything, because Chelsea were interested and they're willing to trigger that clause. But when they really had that Calafiori has chosen Arsenal over them, they moved to obviously get in another player who is really Portuguese, and he was unveiled after passing the medical for the side of Chelsea. So that's what exactly is happening at the side of Arsenal and Arsenal and Bologna on the Calafiori deal. Now, we obviously have to get into the deal of a guy called Calafiori on why he chose Chelsea and Bayern Leverkusen over. Why he chose Arsenal over Chelsea and Bayern Leverkusen. This is Classio Marketo. Very great bosses coming in through from the side of Italy. They've told us that Riccardo Calafiori picked Arsenal over Chelsea and Bayern Leverkusen because of Mikel Arteta, his football ideas, and what he asks of his defenders with and without the ball. Calafiori has given his word to Mikel Arteta and does not intend to listen to other offers right now. So that is Riccardo Calafiori for you. So Riccardo Calafiori was convinced by Mikel Arteta. I tell you, however good the sporting director is, however good the director of football is, or technical director or CEO for the club is, you cannot come out to obviously come in through and see to it that a deal really happens. If at all the coach doesn't obviously go ahead to obviously convince the player. I tell you, all this was in the hands of the player to obviously decide where he was going, because the price was known, 50 million euros, right? And very many clubs would obviously wish to pay that amount of money. The side of Leverkusen, the side of Chelsea. But Enzo Maresca, the manager for the side of Chelsea, failed to convince the player to obviously join them. You can talk about the other player called what's the name of the player? You can talk of the other player called the manager called Xabi Alonso. When you look at him, you really understand that a lot really went ahead not to go his way in as far as convincing Riccardo Calafiori to join Bayer Leverkusen really was concerned. So, who won the race? It was none other than Mikel Arteta. He came up with a plan, talked to them, and obviously convinced the player to join the club of Arsenal. And Calafiori was like, let me obviously go ahead and really do the needful to obviously play for that side of Arsenal. So as it stands, it's really very important to note that nothing is really gonna really stop you and forsake you from really thriving at the side of Arsenal. That is Riccardo Calafiori, and the reason is going to have to be given as to why he really chose Arsenal over Bayer Leverkusen and Chelsea. It was all about Mikel Arteta and his footballing ideas, with and without the ball. And you look at Riccardo Calafiori, he's going to be one of those players that are really going to be beneficial to that side of Arsenal. I tell you, he's going to register assists because he's going to be played mostly as a left back. You understand? At the club of Arsenal, and at Basel, he was playing as a left back. And for Bologna, I think for the first season, he played as a left back and was then initiated or ushered into the left-sided centre back. That is the man known as Riccardo Calafiori. So, as it stands, it's not getting any worse for the club of Arsenal. Don't get worried that the deal won't obviously come to pass. I tell you, the deal will come to pass. And when it comes to pass, a lot will obviously come in through to really come on and really take you to where you deserve to be. So as it stands, it's all about Riccardo Calafiori, and he's really doing a very beautiful job altogether for the side of Bologna, and he has only told them, I want to go to Arsenal. And why does he want to go to Arsenal? It's because of Mikel Arteta. And there is an influence of Jorginho that is being hinted on by very many people that maybe agent Jorginho went ahead and took center stage to see to it that a lot really goes his way to convince Calafiori to obviously come in through and join the side of Arsenal. So guys, that's what we heard about Riccardo Calafiori. I've been silent about the deal because I need to eat that all what you're waiting for is a here we go, but I need to obviously give you this hint about what Fabrizio Romano has to say about this deal, and the guy himself known as Classio Marketo. Let's obviously go to Roy Keane speaking about the final of England versus Spain on Sunday. He said, I would have Spain as favorites, but sometimes things are written in the stars for this England team. They should have been out of it a week ago, They've now got momentum. It's good to see players coming off the bench with a proper mindset. They want to come into the game and have impact. They are coming on and letting goals and getting late goals. It will be a brilliant game against Spain. The impact of players off the bench has been huge for a lot of teams in the tournament. So that is it. But he's really tipping Spain to be favorites to obviously win the league. And I tell you, unless otherwise, you've not been watching the Euros. But if I'd have been watching the Euros, Spain deservedly want to win it. And out of the teams that I really thought that would come in and obviously put in a very huge shift to obviously be among the winners, it's only one that is left, that is England. Remember I talked about France, England, Portugal and Germany, and Spain was nowhere into my queue, but Spain is now in the final and they are ready to obviously tussle it up with England, and England is the team that came up to put in a shift. But England has been saved by substitutes. That is it. And yesterday it was none other than it was none other than Ollie Watkins. The other time it was Ivan Toney. You remember when he came off the bench in the round of 16, he had an assist into the mix, and he put in a very good shift for the side of England. So for Spain, it was Merino who obviously saw them go into the semi-finals, right? And in the semi-finals, you saw to either Dani Olmo, who obviously came in to replace Pedro, came on and obviously did the needful, and guess what? A lot really went their way. So I'm here to wait and see how things are really going to be panning out on Sunday, and I think I'll be recording a match preview for that encounter very, very soon. Lastly, let's obviously have something to say about Emerson Royal. He's one of those people that's going to come in through office, put in a very good shift, and he wants out of the side of Tottenham Hotspur, and he has gone ahead to give his reason as to why he wants to leave Spurs. He said, "I want to play on a regular basis. I don't want to sit on the bench. I've always been professional, but I also told the coach at Spurs that I want to play. Otherwise, I have to look at other options." AC Milan, it's a reference for all Brazilians, told Globo. So he wants to be playing regularly, because if you remember at the start of the season, Spurs are going to obviously have a right back known as Pedro Porro, who still is. Pedro Porro, and there is no way this guy would obviously bench Pedro Porro. On the left there was Udogi, and he couldn't obviously come close. In the central defense, where he could obviously get close, there was Van der Ven and Cristiano Romero, so he couldn't obviously get into the team. He got into the team after injuries accumulated, meaning that he can only play when Spurs is really having what we call injuries. But if you look at the number of games he really started off the bench, they're really very, 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 very minimal as far as everything is really concerned. So he now wants to go to AC Milan, because AC Milan has gone ahead to promise him ample playing time that will obviously see him really enjoy. 22 games played in the Premier League. He had 1 goal and 0 assists into the mix. That is Emerson Royal, 25 years of age, right back, and he can play as a wing back into the mix. He's Brazilian, and he is really 25 years of age, 1.8 meters tall. That is the player we're really talking about, who goes by the names of Emerson Royal. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. First video of the day, and I know more 4 or 5 stories will obviously load in, and you guys will enjoy them. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Riccardo Calafiori, Arsenal choice over Bayer Leverkusen and Chelsea. What do you make about Emerson Royal giving a reason that is really valid on him leaving the side of Spurs, meaning that there was interest for Spurs to keep him, but the player was like, I want to play a lot more and more and more and more. But you never know who would have gone to obviously get more ample playing time, because Spurs is going to be playing in Europe, and you never know, rotation would obviously come in through. But there is no way he matches the quality of that guy called as Pedro Porro onto the right back. And who do you think are the favorites to win the Euros? Roy Keane is like Spain, and do you think England can come in through and obviously stop this side of Spain? All that and more into the comment section below. Remember, we are powered by Muno Gadgets 256. You can as well follow them on TikTok. You can really find lots of things concerning their gadgets that they have, and you can as well dial +256 70 99 88 66 5. Call or WhatsApp them. You'll really get the best that you deserve when it comes to their gadgets as it comes along. I sign out for now. See you later. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims Barakallahu Fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name, and here we come with Mono Gadgets. If you don't have a Mono Gadget, please try to obviously come in through and give it a very, very huge push. We out. Bye bye. It's a 5-finger salute to everyone watching in through.